let's start with Mordecai. Uh, you are you're in Browbeat. We had some road adventure. You met some NPCs along the way. What really stood out last session for Mordecai, and this is both for you to get into your character's headspace, and for anyone who might not have been around for last session, it's a bit of a recap for them too.
Um, well, the kinds of things that happened last week is, well, I didn't die, so there's
That is
that.
notable.
Um, so after after kind of looting everything, just kind of taking it easy, not really doing a whole lot. Uh, Mordecai more or less just napped for the rest of the ride.
Okay,
So
man, all the tieflings around Mezamaska are just really sleepy.
it might be a racial trait. I don't know.
At least at the very least, he's not permanently sleeping.
That is true.
This is true. I was
Give me time.
resurrected.
All right, so Mordecai is generally enjoying his travel with the others across Mezamaska.
Yeah, he's definitely enjoying everything. The other characters in the group are definitely eccentric, to say the least. Um, so he is definitely feels like he's uh, uh, feeling good about this particular group because they all have their quirks and he has his own quirks, and so being being that we kind of just stopped along the way and had a little bit of a kind of weird dreams for some of the party. Mordecai didn't really have much in the way of that, but yeah, we made it to Browbeat. We got Jeroff home, and now we're
Mm-hmm.
just kind of chilling the rest of the way.
All right. Let's pop over to our only party member who has yet to be bitten by a vampire to whatever effect that will have. Celine. What's going on with Celine right now?
Vampires and pixies and
Vampires and pixies.
there are many things I could say about the undead and the fae, and not all of them are nice. So I'm not going to.
Okay.
What I am going to say is that, after driving the cart into town and all that, and getting Jeroff home, we need a night of relaxation, and then we need to get back on the road because we have someone that we need to get to the north, east,
Yes.
past past Mask of Flowers, and then we need to go deal with the thing via Green Shield,
Mm-hmm.
so we can go and deal with Siphonix, the old man who gave us the quest to begin with.
Yep.
So, my entire prerogative at this point in time is to make sure that I'm ready for the road via some good old-fashioned R&R. And at the same time, making sure to keep an eye on the rest of my party members who were bitten by vampires to make sure that they don't turn into vampires, because that would be really, really bad.
Well, if anyone's gonna mercy kill them, it should be a friend.
Yes, but at the same time, I don't want to have to mercy kill them. I would much rather, you know. I have thought of just trying to cast Lesser Restoration on one of them and see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I am a scientist after all, so experimentation is a thing that happens. But,
Alrighty. Let's pop over to. Yes, that's true. A forbidden word was used. Oh my. Let's go over to Jade the Wretched, and what's happening in Jade's world?
Sweet dreams on made of screens. Dreaming. Keep dreaming horrible dreams. Keep me from sleeping. Haven't slept in a while. Not proper. Might have something to do with these maggots that are festering out of this wound. Like eating yourself, really. But at least the old soldier made it.
Mm-hmm.
Kept my promise. Kept his promise. That's how this works. But now we have the little one who has to make it across long travels. Oh, General Avalanche, I'm going to miss you. Still, can't help but think, how are we going to continue to fend, to push, when the people won't stop staring? How can you relax knowing that their smiles are made of daggers?
Ooh. Thank you, Jade. Let's use that as a springboard then, and or if not a springboard, a contrast or a compliment. I don't know. You two have a really interesting dynamic, but anyway, let's go over to Bright. What's going on with Bright right now?
Well, Bright's actually pretty unhappy by her standards. You can't really tell, but she's worried because the party hasn't been very nice to each other lately, and we're all gonna have to work together. And it all started when Mr. Taz tried to punch Jade, and that wasn't very nice. And then Jade ran away, and that wasn't very nice. And then we patched that all up, and we patched up the wagon too. But then then there was the bad dreams, and then then Celine tried to grab me, and that wasn't very nice. And then maybe I haven't been as nice as I could be either. So I think we should all just try to work on being nicer to each other. And then when Jade worries about smiles made of daggers, then at least she'll be able to see the daggers because we'll be smiling.
That's such an optimistic view. That's true.
But see, Bryce, the only reason I grabbed you is because there was suspicion that you were a vampire, and I just needed to check.
No, but I wouldn't turn into a vampire. That wouldn't be very nice.
Darling Bright. As much as I would like to agree with you, things such as vampirism rarely give you the choice.
I know. Okay. Well, I mean, I just didn't know what you were trying to do, and it was scary and weird. So, that's all. I just didn't understand what you wanted to do.
All right.
As I told you, I just needed you to open your mouth so I could check to see that you didn't have fangs.
See how weird that sounds?
Right, this is me we're talking about here. Is it weird? That weird coming out of my mouth of all people?
Only when your teeth won't stop rattling.
I mean, I certainly would love a dentist named Mistress of Death. I mean, that's... Evelyn says, I'd love a spin-off buddy cop game with Bright and Jade.
My skin matches my hair.
DJ Delta, yeah. Bright the
I would
happy
require for
vampire,
that to happen.
sucking blood from only those that try and hurt her friends or loved ones.
I will pay a game developer to make that buddy cop game happen. I would pay to make that happen.
DJ Delta, I forget the name of the anime, but there's one where you have almost like a reverse vampire, where she actually produces blood, and she has to get rid of it. So she has to bite people to, like, inject her blood into them. But it has, like, because it's supernatural, it has some sort of, like, curative or restorative properties. So she actually goes around and bites people to help them, because she has to get rid of this excess blood her body's producing. I forget the name of it. I was gonna say Melty Blood, but that's a fighting game.
Yeah.
Oh, is it Chibi Vampire Dark Wolf? All right. It sounds like you know what I'm talking about. Oh, cool. Yeah, the whole manga set. Watching them animus and mangers. Well, thank you, Dark Wolf, for the assist on that.
Them animus and rid of them mangers.
Yeah.
I love me the mangers.
You kids and your waifus and your husbandos.
And your bangers and your shonens and your Dragon Ball Z.
And your yonder what's its.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sounds like my dad trying to explain anime.
Yeah.
Oh, you think that's bad? I introduced my old man to Junji Ito.
Oh.
That's a good
Well, if you want to learn how to swim, you gotta jump in the cold, dark, horrible waters.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the deepest end.
Look, Matty, you can respect me for one thing. I have never hidden, nor have any intention on hiding the fact that I am one of the most open, self-aware edgelords you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
I knows what I like, and I just roll with it.
Actually, it's really just a dark pit. You hope there's water in there to catch your fall. All right. So speaking of water, you all have arrived in Browbeat. It was nighttime, and you managed to drop Giraffe off, but it sounded like the family was expecting a little one, and the house was full. You were said, well, look, we appreciate it. Please come back later. And you drop the cart off to the Masons Guild, which it's really a 24/7 operation here. They work several shifts throughout the day and night, and they were thankful to you and did give you the guild discount at the Tumbled Wench as a show of appreciation, and they will have a payment for you as well for returning their member and their property in relatively one piece. So you made your way. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, he's in one piece. He's not missing any parts.
No, I mean, most of his teeth, but does that really count?
No, not
I
really.
has them.
Yeah.
Of course you do, Jade. Of course you do.
So you arranged for rooms at the Tumbled Wench here in Browbeat, and this one has a hot spring, because as you recall, this town has several hot springs, and they actually do a good job of, despite the altitude and the snow and the climate, it gives people something warm to do. It helps the miners relax and ease their muscles and their backs. Maybe even act as a bit of a curative or a restorative, mentally or physically. And so this Tumbled Wench did in fact have their own hot spring, and as everyone but Jade, if I recall correctly, decided to go and take a dip in the hot spring. When you open the door from the changing room, because you were told, look, it's mixed bathing, hopefully you don't have a problem with that. If you want, you could wear a towel or something. Then
I don't need a towel.
yeah, if you're comfortable in your skin, there you go. You open the door, and there are about half a dozen pixies just kind of hanging out in the water. And you look at them, and they look at you, and that's where we had left things off. Just kind of this awkward silence between you and several fey creatures.
Check my character sheet real quickly.
So they're sitting they're sitting on the edge of the hot spring over here, and it looks like they're talking. Because of their size and the steam in the distance, and the fact that they're fey, so it can be difficult to tell otherwise. Are they boy pixies, girl pixies? Does it really matter? They just sort of stop, and you can just see their eyes. So you have like 12 eyes now, even through the even through the rising steam and mists of the hot spring here on this cold spring night in the mountains. They just sort of like light up and are just staring in your direction through the fog.
Very quick question. May I roll some kind of, I would say it would probably be an intelligence check, maybe a nature, to discern if I know what kind of languages that these pixies are able to understand?
Nature. I guess that could work. I'll leave it up to you. An intelligence check is fine. I will flavor your answer depending on the type of check that you're making. Is that fair?
Yep, no, that's fair. In that case, I will probably make a history check. Because, I mean, Celine reads a lot of books. Ooh, that's good. That's 17.
Yeah, not too shabby. All right, Celine. Upon seeing these creatures, you're going back and hopefully you have some encyclopedic knowledge here. The Fae have their own language, though it is possible that they might be able to speak Elven due to the fact that elves have a Fae heritage, and their language might at least in part be based on this language of the Faes. So too might they speak Gnomish for similar reasons, as gnomes aren't as directly related to Faes, but they might be second cousins. And I don't know if you would necessarily be aware of secret languages, like Druidic and such, in an out of character context.
No.
But you can presume that as an intelligent people, that they would have their own language of some kind, and that there are languages that might touch on that heritage, if they don't just straight out understand the language of the lands which they are apparently visiting, which would be the common tongue.
Yeah. Okay. Well then, I will greet them in Elvish because it's really the closest thing that I know to the language of the Fae, which is Sylvan. Which I was thinking of taking when I created the character, but I didn't. Don't know why. But she will greet them respectfully in Elvish. Just as a note, she is currently buck-ass nude.
Yeah.
Because Celine is very, very comfortable in her own skin. She has no issues.
Oh, you have to be comfortable in your skin because that's the only thing you wear all the time. So if it's not comfortable, that would be really uncomfortable.
Well, I mean,
I don't think Jade is comfortable.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't either.
Sometimes that Jade would beg to differ, but
Unless someone flays you, but that wouldn't be very nice.
if you're such a nice person, how do you know about people flaying other people?
I read a lot.
What were you saying in Elvish to these pixies?
So she would simply bow and say, greetings.
Oh, silly. You don't have to be all formal with pixies. They're kind of like gnomes, except less so, and also more so. Because look, they're even smaller, but they're also even bouncier.
One of them...
And I'll say that in Elvish, too.
Oh, okay.
Because I also speak Elvish.
And
then I'll wave at the gnomes.
You see one of the eyes begin to rise up and move closer and sort of through the fog. And so you have this little pixie who comes up and is about 4 feet away from you, from your face, Celine.
I'm just hoping that it doesn't decide to, oh, I'm gonna play a trick and polymorph me into something because that would be bad.
It's examining you. And you can definitely see where Bright was correct in that they are less so and more so like gnomes.
Yeah.
They have very large eyes, especially for almost like an anime face, right? Big eyes, small mouth, Besom, which is a roleplay system itself. And they sparkle. They're going over you. And in Elven, though it may not be their first tongue, you get what would sound to you to be an accented Elvish response. Oi, and who are you? You speak with the Elven tongue? Oh, you are Elvish, isn't ye?
I have Elvish heritage, yes.
Oh, I can see it in your ears. And it starts to flit around, and it gets really close to your ear. You just hear like a of the wings as they flap, and you just feel little hands like grab onto your ear, and the pixie just sort of puts its head inside your ear, which should not be possible. Just due to the laws of physics. But we live in a world of magic, so that is rendered irrelevant on many cases.
Yes.
So you all see this. This pixie's head disappears inside of Celine's ear. Any responses? Anything?
Celine, what's going on?
A little bit.
Pixies.
I don't understand what's going on at all.
It's pixies. You never
It's
understand
going
what's
for her
going on.
brain.
They're fun.
Oh god. Oh, that's perfect. But no. It's just
You usually
there's
don't see pixies around. They usually hide because they can turn invisible whenever they want. So they usually don't show themselves. So because they show themselves, that must mean they trust us and they'll be our friends.
I mean, trust us enough to, hopefully not polymorph us into things.
Maybe they'll turn you into a fish so you can enjoy the bath. That's the sort of thing pixies would do.
With a bit of a wet sound, the pixie's head emerges from your ear, and oh, you's all kinds of clean, even before you get into the bath. But and the one pixie now floats down to Mordecai. Did you come out with the ladies, or are you holding back?
No, I came out with that.
Okay, floats over to you and starts examining you. Doesn't put his or her head in your ear. Oh.
Hello.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Gives a little whistling ditty, and the other pixies, you see now kind of like rise up, and begin to go through the mist, and they're now sort of all bobbing around you, Mordecai, and your body's being poked and prodded by the pixies.
What's going on? Why are they poking me?
Does Mordecai speak Elvish?
No, common and infernal.
Gotcha. So you're just getting as they're talking amongst each other. Now you who understand Elven are, I mean, you're getting kind of mostly the same, but it's like, oh, what's this? Why is he this color? What? Oh, look at this tail, and poke and this elbow, and like kind of grabs like a whoop. It's like, oh, how far out can his elbow skin stretch?
They're curious about you, Mordecai.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. Stop it!
It's like they've never seen a tiefling before, but I don't know why, because tieflings don't turn invisible, so they should have been able to see tieflings all over the place. I don't understand.
Yes, tieflings are a common race to this area. How they've not seen tieflings before, I wouldn't know. I mean, unless they migrated from somewhere else where tieflings are much less common.
Mordecai.
Their recent...
Mordecai, the original one that came over is now just sort of like in front of your face, floating, and smiles really large, like yee. Big eyes, wet and glittering in the moonlight and whatever ambient light from lanterns and such is around here, and is smiling at you and is,
I think it wanted to go over.
It's
Wanted
just
to follow you.
it's like it's just a couple feet in front of your face.
And so I go over a little bit.
And it tugs on its ear and points to you.
I think it wants to whisper something in your ear.
I don't understand what it's saying.
As I said, I think it wants to tell you something, and that you should lean down and listen to what it has to say. Probably a good idea, because if you don't...
And so its wings are kind of humming and fluttering, and it gets over real close. You're a monster, and you're going to die. and all the other pixies start, like they rise up, and they're now sort of like in the mists. They all have almost like a fairy fire effect that's now glowing about them, and in a language that I presume none of you are going to understand, as it is a native language to them, they begin chanting something over and over. And
oh, no.
This is not good.
No.
Why did it just tell me I'm going to die?
They're just probably just playing a joke on you. Pixies
They're going
have
for
a
your
weird sense of
brains.
humor. It's okay. They're probably. I mean, sometimes when a pixie flies in your ear, it sounds like a mosquito, but they don't actually suck your blood. So, which is a nice, refreshing change. So I think they're probably just playing a little prank. Probably.
Right.
Nope, I'm
right.
leaving. I'm leaving.
We dealt with vampires. Too soon.
Nope, I'm leaving. Goodbye.
Oh.
the vampires are here. We must stay clear. Back to the mountain and to our great fountain. And they begin to, and they begin speeding up until almost in a firework, they just sort of, in glitter and light, they all just sort of disappear in a bright flash.
Celine very slowly turns to face both Bright and Mordecai.
Bright, in fairness, you would have been kind of picked at too by one or two of the other pixies as Mordecai was being examined.
I was going to say, I'm kind of sad because the pixies ignored me, and I like pixies.
I
Remind
don't
me
like
of home,
them at all.
and they didn't like me very much. It's like, you know how sometimes your God will talk to someone, but no matter how faithful you are, they don't talk to you. It's kind of like that. I like the pixies, and they didn't care about me. It's sad.
I don't like that
Pixies
they
should never make you
threatened
sad.
me.
You too? I think there is something that needs to be done.
Vampires, and we've been fighting them the whole time. So maybe they'll come back if we find the vampires. I don't know. I'm tired of vampires. But if we have to do what we have to do.
I think it's also a matter of you two were bitten.
Yeah, I thought that was taken care of.
Maybe. I don't know. We got some magic forks, but the magic forks are garbage. So I don't think we can actually count on those. So I don't know. I would like if I know that sometimes clerics can remove curses and that takes care of things, but I don't know, Celine, if you can remove a curse yet or not. But I think that's what we're probably just going to have to do, just for peace of mind, is to remove our curses in case we have them, which I don't know that we have them.
Well,
Because
there's one
sometimes
way to find, there's
another
one way
thing-
to find out.
Sometimes
game
they
to-
can they can give you illusions, and sometimes they can cause funny dreams. And we've all had a lot of funny dreams, so that even could have been from them.
I'm game for
Yes.
whatever.
Yes, let's I would it's probably the one thing that I can do. Like honestly, it's probably the one thing that I can do to do anything to maybe try and deal with this. I'm gonna go up to Bright first, and I'm going to cast a very experimental Lesser Restoration.
Okay.
All right.
Don't feel very different.
You feel very tingly. I don't know. Maybe it even tickles a bit, because it's kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of sending a healing like vibration out, throughout your body to kind of like cleanse and make you sweat out whatever, or otherwise expunge any of the bad things or toxins, as is often called. So you probably kind of giggle.
Spring.
Yeah, of course, choosing to end one disease because I know that I mean I should be able to tell just from a cursory glance that Bright is not blinded, deaf, and paralyzed or poisoned.
I don't know. She could be doing a really good job of pretending not to be to keep up morale.
I'm just really good at reading lips.
I mean, especially paralyzed for the simple fact of
Yeah, I'm not paralyzed.
the paralyzed condition is literally you can't move or talk or do just about anything.
And that's basically all I do. So I'm not paralyzed.
All right.
Also, Derek, I can't hear you at all.
I'm just mouthing something
yeah.
at this point.
Oh, okay, you were mouthing stuff.
So
I'm keeping the voices going.
So out here at the hot spring, Celine is tending to Bright. Here, do you feel better? Here, let me tend to you. There's a whistling that comes closer. Sounds like a traveling song. And there's a very large merchant whom you recognize, that just sort of stops and looks at you, kind of making this gnome kind of like tickle and laugh and whatnot by the side of the hot spring, and he just sort of like goes red and just begins. That is well, and he just sort of like burbles his way back into the changing room and leaves you two alone.
So Celine just watches him go, and then she smirks to herself, and she's just like, you know what? I'm not even gonna try and change his mind on that.
I couldn't tell any difference. It seems like he's always like that.
I think that was Celine is also gonna spend her her last second level spell slot for the day and cast Lesser Restoration again, but this time it's gonna be on Mordecai.
Okay. Mordecai, you tickle, you tingle. You haven't even been in the hot spring yet, and your body is kind of having like a warm rush go through it.
Okay.
I don't know if that did anything. Hopefully, I mean, I've read in some texts that sometimes vampirism is a disease, but it might also be a curse. I honestly couldn't tell you.
I don't necessarily feel any different, except maybe a little hot flashed.
Well, I mean, of everything that might have happened, that's not so bad.
That's fair. And now you go ahead and get in the spring.
Yeah, I'm also getting in the spring.
Okay.
Me too. I would like to spring, but I can only go in the shallow end because I'm very shallow.
join us.
Meanwhile, Jade is in her room at inside the tumbled wench.
Yes, there is a fair amount of note-taking, mostly on the walls. Need to keep it all straight. You can't see it all. You don't know what came before or after unless it's seen inside. So she just has pages tacked on the walls as she continues to scribble out and pull out bits out of another book and one other book and starts posting it as she continues. And she keeps looking at this little water basin aside. When are you gonna crawl up, you little? What do you want? What do you want? Her eyes just keep darting back to it every time. Scrolls another one, and another one, just trying to figure it out. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And she keeps turning her eyes back to the door, wondering, because they keep saying she needs a bath, but she knows better. She knows better, especially with the waters. The waters, keep away from the waters. Even small ones. So what if it decided to grab her in a larger pool? Is it more powerful in another pool? Maybe it wants to drown her. Couldn't drown her in a puddle. It wasn't strong enough, but she knows. She knows.
As you are pinning these papers and you are wondering or fretting or contemplating or planning, there is a warmth coming through the place to keep the chill away. They've harvested the warm waters, and it is a part of the hotel here. You have a fireplace too if you wanted to set a small little warming fire. Like there's a little stove that'll provide some heat. And just the wound and these maggots that you feel crawling into or out of it. You're sweating. You're expecting this tendril, this thing to visit at some point in time, and it doesn't seem to. I don't know if that makes you more nervous or if that makes you more anxious because you're expecting something and it's not happening, and then questioning why it's not happening, even if you don't want it to happen, because at least that would be regular. That would be something regular, and you do just feel that, little drops of sweat. But are they drops of sweat, or are they little wiggle worms, just sort of crawling out of your skin and pouring, coming down your cheeks and going down your body before dropping off? But then instead of, being a solid little worm, they sort of like little splishes of sweat. They dissipate on the floor.
They're indecisive. That's the problem. They know every time I reach and grab one, all I'm grabbing is skin. But that's not going to stop me from grabbing them.
So Jade, you all are enjoying your time in the hot spring, and it seems like Jade's in a bit of a sauna, if only of her own design, as she is also expunging toxins and other things through her skin. You're bathing, time passes. Jade, you're plotting, you're putting papers out into patterns. Maybe you can see a pattern, maybe you rearrange things, maybe you're waiting. There's the inspiration internally or externally, or is there even a difference much anymore? And it begins to snow. And for those of you who are in the hot spring, it's really nice. You're warm. You have warm water circulating around you. And there's this very nice snowfall that begins getting heavier and heavier. The clouds are low and dark. In fact, you can even see the lamplight and whatnot of the town of Browbeat, just highlighting the underside of the clouds as they cover the area, and more snow begins falling. The hour's growing late. I don't know. You could spend the night in here, I guess, if you really want to. But
where did Tibba go while all this was happening?
Tibba is presumably inside the tumbled wench. I don't know if he'd be a little shy to go out into the bath with you all.
I'm starting to get kind of wrinkly, and that means that my magic is washing out of my skin. So I think I better get out of the tub and go back up to the room, and I'll check on little Boxy and maybe get a little bite to eat because it's been a very long day, and then we can, I don't know, are you guys going to want to leave in the morning, or do you want to stay around in Browbeat? Or just take Tibba. I think we should get Tibba to his family just as quick as we can, and then we don't have to worry about protecting him while we look for vampires.
You're not wrong.
So, if we are vampires, then if we get him to his family before we turn into vampires, that'll also be better.
Yeah, we should definitely get him home as quickly as possible, because the longer we have him, the more liable the more liable it is for us to, run into problems. And
especially
so
now that we have vampires looking for us, because,
Exactly.
those vampires that we killed.
Yeah, so Mordecai just gets out of the spring and goes to go put his clothes back on.
Okay. So you soak for a while. We can presume, I guess we'll have Tazray held back because Tibba has been, he thinks very highly of Taz, even though he's kind of scared of him. But he is a big, strong brawler. He wrestled a bear last episode, so that's something. But yeah, you all end up crawling out. Yeah, oh. Well, he wanted the eggs, but unfortunately Jade's an egg monger. And who also is not afraid to eat live chicks.
They were things that should not be.
The eggs sustain me.
All right, so snacks and whatnot you can grab on the way in. You all look at as you get out and you dry off because the air is very dry up here. You can see that there are like little mineral deposits, sort of like drying on the surface of your skin. That, I mean, you could peel off or you can kind of flex and they'll flake off. But that is supposedly one of the restorative measures of these hot springs here, especially, is that you're getting it's a mineral soak, and so as it forms this like crust over your body, it's supposedly drawing out the bad stuff, and then you just sort of you can like sweep off the crust. You're shedding yourself in a symbolic fashion. So you all go through your drying off, your molting process, and there's your rooms. Tibba and Taz are still quite alive. In fact, it sounds like Tazray is singing him a very bawdy tune that he learned in the gladiator pits. And you can go to sleep if you wish.
I think so.
All right. Do. Night passes, and there is. You actually have a very, very. You have a very, very good sleep. It's you're well rested. Maybe you wake up and you still have some little crusties on you too, but that's not too difficult to get rid of. No nightmares. But your rooms are all rather dark. And it's obvious why when you go to your windows and everything is just blasted with snow. Like your windows are frozen closed and you can see that there's snow clinging to them. And that seems to be the talk of some people out in the hallway, or some ambient talk you can hear coming from the common room down below.
I go downstairs.
Oh boy.
Hey, I'm gonna need to practice my magic for a few minutes, but I'll be down in 10 minutes or so.
All right.
Got to get those finger wiggling exercises in. Got to warm up.
I have the right magic now.
Nice.
Jade, what are you doing this morning?
She's just preparing eggs. What else would she be doing? Preparing, boiling, maybe.
sleeping situation here? Like, how did we arrange our rooms?
You took the rooms that were available. You weren't always able to have rooms that touched, but at least you all could be on the same floor.
Our own rooms.
Unless you want to double up, that's fine.
I just wanted to know how it worked out.
Yeah. So let's see. Taz and Tibba would be in one. I mean, not that Pouty Lips is a part of your party, but he definitely got his own because he likes his accommodations.
So I'll awake all night with his blubbering. So it's good that he has his own room.
So if one of you wanted to share a room with Jade, you can, because there's 4 others of you. You could go in whatever combo, or you can get your own.
Oh, it just seemed like we had our own, so I just wanted to make sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
The smell of food is wafting up through the resort, and there are people eating. You go downstairs, and there are a lot of people in coats. There's a lot of shovels. A lot of water's been tracked in over the wooden floor, and it's quickly apparent that over the course of the night there was quite a blizzard that was blanketing everything in snow and kind of sealing people in. You hear a couple stories of, we had to go dig out, this one family. They have some elderly people and little kids, and something could have happened. And did you hear that the avalanches are due to have a child? Oh yeah, I think there's a team that went to go make sure that that they're dug out as well. But it sounds like it's a bit of a problem with all the snow that has fallen upon Browbeat over the course of the night.
Interesting.
Oh, I don't know. We might not be able to travel. Does anyone know if there's a weather? Like, does anyone know how much snow we're supposed to get? Is there a forecast?
We could certainly go ask someone.
Yep. On. We'll be right back.
Ma'am, yes, it'll clear up. No time. I've been in this city for all my life, and I've seen quite a fair amount of snowstorms in my day. It's odd. We don't normally. It has happened on occasion. We don't normally get weather like this, but perhaps it's that last blowout before springtime warmth, and then of course the summer, and we won't have to worry too much more about the cold for quite some time. So don't you worry. We'll have everything dug out for you, and we'll see where we go from here. I can't imagine that the clouds have too much more left in them after what just happened.
Well, but we're kind of under some time pressure. We need to get traveling and on the road, and we need to make our way to Flowerfield. So,
Flowerfield. Oh, well, very nice area. Very odd indeed. I don't know how much you'll be able to travel. We've done our best to try and clear out what roads or alleys that we can. It might take some time yet today to have everything really dug out. Depending on your mode of transportation. Are you in a wagon or a beast of burden? Are you traveling by foot?
We had a wagon, but it was a loaner, and we had to give it away.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
well,
I think we're traveling on foot now.
I would be concerned for you, little lady. I don't want you to fall into a snowbank and not be able to come back out.
That's actually really a risk, because our people, we live in a little area with hills, and sometimes snow will fall and it'll cover up someone's house completely, and then everybody has to chip in to dig them out. It's actually really sad.
Well, if you need, we can do something similar for safety purposes. We can tie a branch to you and put a red flag on the top of it, and if you do fall, then it should hopefully stick up above the snow and let everyone know where you're at.
That would be nice.
Is there help needed to clear out the roads?
Always. Yes, if you can chip in, I'm sure that you'll have plenty of friends around here.
I'm little, and I am not very good at that sort of thing, but I can of the areas around the hotel or the inn.
That'd be marvelous. Although, why don't we get you a safety stick just to be safe?
Oh no, it's gonna be okay. it'll be. I won't need that for this. And I will cast Unseen Servant as a ritual, so that Betty can help with the snow. She can only stay within 60 feet of me, so she can only do the sidewalks and stuff.
Okay.
I'll definitely assist around.
Celine?
I can lend some assistance. Do apologize about that. Sometimes nature calls, and then sometimes it screams in your ear at a definitely loud volume.
Yes. And what would Jade like to do?
Jade will assist, but she's more concerned about making her way towards the old soldiers' home, making sure all was well, and making sure there's no complications. After all, if a medic can't make it to them just in case of the birth thing, you see, then there would be large problems. That's not supposed to be.
Okay. So Jade is going to help, but is going to go over to the avalanche home, and the rest of you want to work around the tumbled wench to try and clear things out there, out to the road and the sidewalks along the street?
Yeah, if Jade does tell any of the party members where she's going, Celine will keep her ear out just in case Jade does call for her, because, she is a doctor, so if they need a doctor...
Okay.
I've delivered babies.
Okay. So you are going with Jade then. All right.
Both going, then I'll have to go with as well.
Okay, so you all are going to the avalanche home.
Yeah, we could all go to the avalanche home and clear out snow on the way.
Okay. So it is, you're definitely getting a sense of a community. You're getting an appreciation of the fact that these are people, many of whom work in mines and quarries, are masons. Look, shoveling, scooping, all of this is second nature to them. King says Robbie Rotten has died. Truly, this is a dark day for villains everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that name, Robbie Rotten.
So if you know the "We Are Number One" meme, he's the guy who plays
the
villain from Lazy Town, Robbie Rotten,
with a prosthetic
yeah,
nose and chin and whatnot.
Yeah. He'd been battling bile duct cancer for 2 or 3 years.
Oh wow!
And it is very, very sad to see him go, but.
Oh wow, then yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's some news. Yeah, well then, King, we'll hang on. I think I have something here. There we go. It's really a sad day, but hey, yep. And what a very specific cancer at that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's you hear of big ones, and not that they're not any major, but then something like that. How could you ever really brace yourself or something along those lines?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a specific type of lymphatic system cancer.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, it happens. And as I said, it's sad, but as I said...
Well, King, hey, thanks for the news, because this sort of stuff happens over the course of a campaign. Whether they're celebrities or people that we know personally, or maybe we have a favorite author that others haven't heard about, but something has happened, and that's what stepping out of the game for a second in the meta of D&D. When you play a role-playing game like this, you meet every week, you talk with others, and you have fun. These act as life milestones, and you can reflect back. If you've been playing Vampire, D&D, Pathfinder, or whatever else have you, Dark Heresy or something, you can look back over the months or years that you've played, and you can measure events that have occurred, in the world with news or war or, people who have passed on, births, things like that. Maybe you got a new job or you bought a new car, and or something along those lines, or even if it's a used car, like you have something like that. Whether it's good or bad, you can incorporate these life milestones into your games, and it becomes a part of the story itself, if only on the sidelines, because we can all reflect back and say, oh, do you remember that time when something happened?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay.
It is a good tool for remembering. But no, we're currently clearing out.
Yes,
No.
yeah. You are. So it's not nighttime. This is just the best sort of general browbeat feel I have here. So it is. It is actually bright. And so is Bright herself. With the white snow reflecting light everywhere. It's kind of like you're getting almost like not a snow blindness like you're in Antarctica and it's snow for miles around, but all of the white snow is really reflecting the light everywhere, and everything is just just that much brighter and sparkly.
Yeah.
I
Go ahead.
we might want to go shopping and buy some warm clothes in case we have to travel in bad weather.
That's not a bad idea.
There are paths to the marketplace that are open if you wish to go there. Do you want to go there before going to the avalanches?
If we're in warm clothes, we might be able to better help clear out the snow.
Depends on how bad the weather is and whether it's actually snowing right now and all those things.
It's not snowing right now, but there are still. It is still overcast, and while the very assured man who gave you his opinion on the weather, it is not snowing. Could it snow? Well, who can tell with the weather?
I didn't really believe him.
Let's see. Well, if you're gonna go by way of the market, you are welcome to do so. There are. Trying to look for like warm weather clothes in chapter 5 here, or not warm weather, like winter clothes or like a heavy coat, or otherwise we might just need to call it. We need to make it equivalent to some kind of an outfit, like a traveler's outfit or something, and just call
Everybody usually, most characters will start with traveler's clothes, but there's not really a distinction in the rule book. It's just traveler's clothes or fine clothes or a costume.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we want to do that.
Once I find there's a section that actually has outfits and such in it too. Block and tackle, hunting trap, kits.
That might be something that you'd have to make up on the fly.
Yeah, it might be here. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to spend a ton of time. A ton of time looking up some sort of a in-stays meals. Okay. Yep. All right, so we're gonna say it is in order for you to get a very nice, well, depending on how enclosed in stuff you want, like if you want boots and coats and hats and the whole everything, that'd end up being I don't know, a gold. That's about a day's wages. So 1 gold piece for the whole. You get gloves and a coat and a hat and boots and such. Otherwise, if you just want something warm, like a coat, I don't know, we could piecemeal it. If we're filling up the slots, it'd be a combo for a gold, or it'd be 2 silver would fill up the different slots. But if you bought them individually, it might be a little bit more expensive.
Happy to spend a gold on warm clothes.
Yeah, I'll spend a gold on warm clothes.
Okay. King saying 1 gold per boot. Oh, hey, look, demand has skyrocketed. You all have seen it. Boots 1 at a time here. Boots 1 at a time.
Spend 3 gold and get opposing feet.
Yeah.
You're gonna pussy feet inside your boots.
You get the left and the right, not just two left.
Left boots 1 gold, right boots 2 gold.
Yeah, King. The snow really, really just sort of narshes around your every step. Giant electro snails wander the mines and the many overhead tracks. Several tiny bears with bat wings poke their heads out. He's providing a very good description, I guess, of where we're at. All right, so if you all are buying your winter attire, then you can, in your mind's eye, you can re-equip. Is Bright like oh shoot, what's the little brother from A Christmas Tale? Like, he just wears so many winter clothes he can't put his arms down. Just sort of like teeters around in several coats and.
I'm puffy and I have little earmuffs.
Permanent T-pose.
So we have our winter versions of all our characters. I'll let you imagine what you all look like in your fine winter attire. And you do make your way through the marketplace over to the edge of town, where you are arriving at the Avalanche House. And the houses out here are divided really along family lines. The Avalanche House itself is large, but that's because you have a couple generations living under one roof, and this is the Avalanche House. Not that there may not be avalanches by marriage or elsewise in the surrounding houses, but for sure this does seem to be one of the bigger, more prominent houses around. And you're just gonna have to fill in that there is a lot more snow. There's a lot more snow here, but the sky and the mountains do look mostly as they do. Several chimneys have a constant black smoke pouring out. And it does seem that the pathway up to the house has been cleared off, and there are many people who are industriously digging their way paths to other houses, and you're getting a sense of good cheer, and there's a lot of neighborly help, and actually, you are even seeing some dwarves who are out digging snow. And in particular, they're helping to dig a path from one of the houses on the side over to the Avalanche House. And as a meta reminder, if this wasn't covered in Session 0, or maybe it was but it hasn't really come up, dwarves don't really... It's not that they don't exist. There's just not any major dwarven cities or racial concentrations throughout Mesotopia itself, let alone Mesomasca. So you're seeing some resident dwarves here, and that does stick out.
Yeah, I do remember that being brought up in Session 0. That dwarves just they're just not a common occurrence on this continent, like Mesotopia as a whole. But we'll help the dwarves out with we'll help out the dwarves with shoveling towards the Avalanche House, because we're going there anyway, and it'd be good to help. Although it makes sense that out of anywhere that a couple of dwarves would make their home in a town that's known for its mines and masons and whatnot, because dwarves and their stone, right near the mountains, it's perfect.
Okay, so on your way there, there are two dwarves, and as they look up at you as you approach, one is older, one is younger, both female, and the one kind of leans on her shovel. Oh yeah, he's you're on your way to the avalanches, yeah?
Yes. That's funny, because Derek actually brought up earlier that he usually finds pixies to have a Swedish accent, but now you have
Swedish dwarves.
Yeah, you have
Swedish dwarves,
which I think is perfect.
What are dwarves but giant meatballs?
You know what? I will pay that. You are absolutely correct.
And
Dwarves the giant meatballs.
and besides, it's a good challenge because everybody expects the Scottish dwarf. Yeah, that big and burly, surly, red-headed dwarf, rolling R's and all. Yeah, so classic. Yeah, well, bollocks to that. We're going Swedish meatball dwarves.
Gonna have to end up making
Bork, 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 bork.
This is a great thing, my friends. I made some Horgan Dorgan for breakfast. Would you like some?
Look, Dwarven may be a language that has like 6 consonants between every vowel. And that's just how it works. It's a very hard language. And because they like carving, all the letters have to have little umlauts and little, like little circles and stuff. And
yeah, umlauts and other diacritic marks.
yes. So she wipes her brow. Her jade, like her sweat is glistening and kind of it has a little sparkle. Oh well, if you're to be going, then they're having a baby soon. Are you the ones who dropped off the old man Jeroff?
That would be us.
Oh, what a dear! The stories I can tell you of Jeroff. Like up. Here, daughter. And the daughter dwarf comes up. Yes, mother. These are so and so and so and so, and they're on their way, and they're the ones who dropped off Jeroff, and you heard, and apparently from everything that you're hearing from this dwarven woman, word spreads very fast out here among the various families in this residential area. As she is just able to go on and on about things in your. If you want to cut her off and continue towards the house, you're welcome. Otherwise, she will spew on and on about details. That's up to you if you want to get information or go to the house. Is really the choice it's being broken down to.
That makes sense.
I like stories, and I never really got to know Jeroff all that well myself, because he mostly talked to Jade. He didn't really talk to me as much. But if you have a fun story, that would be fun.
Oh yeah, I could tell you the time that Jeroff's son. Oh, he lost a finger. Have you know? Oh, that was.
We found it again.
No, it's lost forever.
Well, that's so sad. How did it happen?
It's a shame that I'm not a stronger cleric, because I would actually be able to help him regenerate his finger if I was like a 13th level cleric.
Real quick, did you want to bring Taz and Tibba along, or did you want them to stay at the inn?
Figured they would probably stay at the inn, because I don't think we're getting out of here today. So
okay, so Taz will gladly shovel snow outside the inn, and he'll use the exercises to try and help Tibba be a stronger boy.
Okay.
Good plan.
That is a good plan. I am down for this plan.
All right, Jade, are you staying outside to listen to old wives' tales, or are you gonna go inside the avalanche home?
I'd like to go inside the avalanche home, if that's all right by you.
Mordecai? I saw that fang.
I'm alright with that.
You're all right with going into the house, or do you want to stay and talk to the old wife?
I'll go in the house.
Celine?
Yeah, I'll go in the house.
And Bright, do you want to stay outside chit-chatting with... Oh, say it one more time. I didn't get it.
I want to hear the story.
Okay. All right, so Bright and the two dwarven ladies are... You are going to be entertained for quite some time. And you're gonna hear things. These are also very earthy women. So You know, if you enjoy blushing and you love that rush of heat to your cheeks, especially because of the cold snap, then you're going to have plenty of opportunities listening to them. Throughout the conversation and the time that passes, Bright, you are going to you're going to learn that the mother's name is Gintilly, and that she is actually a widow who lost her husband in the mines. And you get the strong feeling that she enjoys cooking traditional dwarven food. And you do you pick up as well that there are other dwarven immigrants here to Mesomasca, and that they look up to her as kind of the matronly figure of the group of dwarves. She's been here. She's as close to a dwarven native as can be, and so she's sort of an unofficial leader among the not many dwarves that live in this area. And you then pick up that her daughter is the younger dwarf here. Her name is Lycup, and she is a very available bachelorette. Which Lycup is kind of embarrassed about, and like, oh mom, come on, don't be saying the things. But Gintilly, her mother, seems very eager to want to marry her off. Think very, very traditional, wifely. You get you get like the old Italian grandmother, like, hey, put us some meat on your bones, or eat the pasta. Oh, get married and have 10 babies. You're getting these very strong, traditional family senses of you should be married by now. You gotta start giving me grandchildren and so on and so forth. Oh,
God's favor for later.
Fickle God's favor for later. Alrighty, let me add DJ Delta to the list of fickle gods.
I don't know any dwarven men. I only know a human boy who's way too young, and also a dragonborn man who's probably too big. So and also he has a cloaca, so that could be hard for you. But
oh, what deity? I'm not understanding the term. Are you saying a boy part?
It's different for dragonborn, but so I
the
can really help you.
Bright, as you're having this conversation with the mom, who's absolutely like the mom is fine with this and loves talking about very earthy subjects. The daughter Lycup is just sort of like snow is melting in a radius around her. She's just emanating embarrassment and heat and.
Basically that.
Well, Mom, I'll be excusing myself to the house. Miss Bright, was a pleasure, and she gives a bit of a bit of a bow, and she just like and scurries off rather quickly.
Okay, it's time to go in the house now.
So over the course of X amount of time, Bright, that you've been talking, you know everyone's like dirty laundry. Everyone. Oh, in the house over there, that's home of these people, and this and that, and by the way, and she was just going on. You're having an amazing conversation with this dwarven matron. So for the rest of you who are inside, while Bright is getting the gist of what's happening outside, inside is if you've seen the movie Home Alone, like right before they go to the airport and everyone's like going around and I'm getting this, and there's someone who's taking a bath, and there's pizza, not pizza, but there's food being made, and blankets apparently are being boiled because we're expecting a kid still. There's activity, and there's just a ton of family members of the Avalanches that are here, and in the middle of it all, by a fireplace in a very comfortable looking chair is Giraffe, and he looks comfortable. His eyes are kind of half lidded, and he's just sort of like rocking back and forth a little bit. very, very contentedly.
Inside the mind of this old soldier, he might hear a familiar whisper. I see you, old soldier. I see you.
As you are seeing him and talking to him, it does seem like the effects of the potion have been wearing off, as he does look a little more tired. And yes, it is dry up here in the mountains and with the cold and the snow. And he is sounding a little raspy, as even though you're talking mentally, he kind of gives a start as he's looking around, if only reflexively, with his dull eyes. Is that Jade? Is that you? Come close. Your mind to mind communication is directionless, so he's looking around and he's making gestures in different directions. Come, my sweet, beautiful Jade. Come closer.
As he makes that comment, Jade ends up looking towards Mordecai's bright, raising a brow, as even that comment seems to have made her wonder. So she ends up slowly approaching the man, trying not to get too close to his family, trying to creep towards him, not stealthily, just in that gaunt manner that she does so. And she starts to lean over his body, or even though its heart still beats, places a hand on his as he's outreaching, looking like, please come closer. She takes his hand.
Okay.
I'm here, old soldier.
Sorry, 1 second here. DJ Delta, you said that you sent your Fickle Godfavor over Discord. I don't see it in my messages. Did you send me a private message about what you would like to influence? Or if not, can you send it again? Because I do not see it on my end, and I want to make sure that if it's relevant to what's coming up, that I can incorporate it. Okay, sorry for that break, Derek. So you're yes. Oh, and his bony kind of I actually, it's not too bony. He still has strength. Like this man was a physical laborer for his life, but like his knuckles are like kind of like gnarly, like little, like just knots. And as he caresses your face, oh, there we go, Delta. I got it. Yeah, that's doable, Delta. I will do my best to accommodate that. And so as he caresses your face, Jade, like you just hear like his knuckles just sort of like his joints like popping, even though he's not doing anything too strenuous. Oh, my dear Jade, no, it's a good thing that you're here. Thank you so much for helping me get home. It is here I was born, in this house, and I fully intend that here it is the place that I'll die before I'm set in a cairn in the family lands.
You have the opportunity to die with a smile on their face, old soldier. Be appreciative, and I hope you got to see the next generation continue.
Oh, yes.
It must be.
I expect my newest family member. I'm gonna hold out at least that long. That's for certain. Oh, I always thought when I was younger that I would die as I was born, naked and screaming. But, sitting here by the fire in a rocking chair, that's not so bad either, Jade.
Well, there's still time.
There's time, but not not much left, I'm afraid.
We will have to go soon. Our travels and duties take us elsewhere. But I would be remiss if I did not fulfill the role given and said goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You have done a great deal more than I would have expected. from many others, Jade. You and your
Compatriots.
oh, yes, I'm sorry. Your compatriots have done much for me, and that boy. I hope that I've been able to instill some wisdom in him.
If you have not, it is no fault of yours. The boy's inability to listen. We must go, and unfortunately, it must be on foot. We had the luxury of being able to take you by a carriage, but no such luxuries can be afforded from this point forward. Pity, but we will make do, one way or the other.
I wish you well in where life takes you, Jade. I think that you have much yet to learn, and perhaps you have much more to accept in life. Although I suppose for a man in my position, acceptance is one of the few things that I have left to do.
I am the Wolf Queen. I am number one.
So you're gonna get this in 10 seconds. What?
What just happened? I'm confused.
DJ Delta donated 1 bit to take first place, and Dark Wolf donated 100 and said, "I am the Wolf Queen. I am number 1." So,
Oh,
yeah. So,
Nice.
so the alpha female staying on top here, and you get another little boon if you wish.
I was just like, am I sensing
Yeah.
a bit more right now?
Dun, 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 dun. All right. So Jade is over talking to Giraffe for the other two of you, Mordecai and Celine, because Bright at this point in time is still outside. The house is swirling. There's people say, thank you for dropping off my father. Thank you for dropping off my grandfather. There's things happening. There's food. The smell of food is filling the air, and of course you hear the sounds of labor coming from a room upstairs. What are you doing to interact with the family that's coming and going upstairs, downstairs, swirling around?
Helping in any way that I possibly can.
Same.
Basically, if they need any kind of medical services, it's kind of why I'm here.
Sure. Celine, you can go upstairs, if in fact you are what they call a leech, and you can help as a doctor, a midwife, as someone else who has a concern here, because especially with all the snow and everyone doing things, they feel very happy that the community has helped to dig them out, but there are other people too who are in need. So you're upstairs. Bright, you're outside at this point in time. Jade, you're over by the fire talking with Giraffe. Mordecai, they have you... Actually, they ask you, Mordecai, what do you do? What are you good at? What's your skills? Very practical questions.
I'm pretty good at music and entertainments.
Excellent. We need that. Now, did you bring your instrument with you?
Yes.
Are you here to help? I saw that you brought my old man in.
Well, of course. I'm always available to help.
Excellent. I want you to make music. Something... Look, work goes by quicker when we all share a song. We learn that in the mines when we're young. And perhaps if you can play something that'll help take our mind off the stresses and everything that's happening around us. Please.
Yes, of course.
Excellent. Have a seat. Begin playing. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude. Look, there's things that are happening.
Nope, I will stay out of the way and I will play music in the corner.
You can make a performance at advantage. Ooh.
Performance.
All
You
right.
gotta sing it.
Yeah. Do
I
you?
don't really know how to sing.
Oh, do you know that this is a song from the Yogs cast? Are you familiar with that at all, Coffee Cat?
Which one?
So the one that Derek referenced, it's from a song called Diggy Diggy Hole, but he rebranded it for the.
I am a dwarf and I'm shoveling some snow. Shovel, shovel, snow. Shovel, shovel, snow. I am a dwarf and I'm shoveling some snow. Shovel, shovel, snow. Shovel, shovel, snow.
I'll be playing my violin.
Okay. So we get that nice
Maybe to
that
the tune of Diggy Diggy Hole.
okay. Otherwise, I mean, look, if you want to play like that, the kind of the dirge of the Misty Mountains, I suppose you could do that too. All right. So you're doing a very good job. People, you're noticing, Mordecai, because this is what you do. Like, people are relaxing more. Not that they're not being less efficient, but instead of scrambling around and you just find like some people are going like this, instead they're, they're going to the pace of your song. They're measuring their actions and whatnot to your performance. Jade, Jeroff smiles as he hears this very loud and clear song being played, and he smiles. Oh, isn't that lovely? Celine, even upstairs, you can hear Mordecai pouring himself through his craft and using music to try and bring everyone together in this chaotic moment. Bright outside. You can hear Mordecai's loud and proud performance here. He's playing the violin. Maybe there's some songs thrown in, or even if he's not, then it's a natural reaction for these miners to, even if they're making it up on the fly. Like it's almost like some blue collar Disney musical where music starts playing and then they just start rhyming. They start singing, or they've adapted one of their own miner shanties to the music that's being played, and everyone here knows all of these mining songs. And so outside, oh, isn't that lovely? Oh yes, it was the blue one with the horns, yeah.
That's me.
The blue one with the horns. Oh yeah.
To Bright.
About me.
That the music, the blue one with the horns, yeah.
Right. Yeah, that was him. He's one of our friends. He came with us. He helped bring Jeroff back too.
Ah, well, if you ever want to play some mischief on a tiefling, especially one who's playing the music, you have to. If you hold their tail, they tend to not to always use them as a ticky tock, to keep the pace.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I don't know. I'll have to do it at just the right moment.
Well, I was a bit of a scamp back in my years.
Ideas for pranks? Because I'm always looking to learn new ones.
Oh yeah, you should go and hold his tail for a bit. I'm sure it'll throw him off a bit.
I know, but I mean other new ones besides that one.
Oh, my little lady, little lady. Yeah, I can. It'll take a meal, several, in fact, to tell you all the pranks.
Well, hopefully we'll have time once all the shoveling is done. But I think everyone's enjoying the music so much. I don't want to ruin it. But sometime I'll definitely do that. Maybe later. Maybe once everybody's had enough to drink. That's when I'll do it.
Now, as you're outside, and so we're gonna bounce back to you and Gintilly, who are speaking outside, and along the bridge going over the frozen creek here, is a man dressed in a mining outfit. Sort of like padded leathers, has a semblance of a helmet on, and he's running past. Make way! Make way! There's been an accident. I need to get to the home. Make way! And so he blows past you two. By the way, the daughter Lycup she's trot off a while ago. So he runs past you, you two, Bright. If you can follow in if you want. For those of you inside, let's see. Celine, you wouldn't see this. Jade and Mordecai, your interactions with music or people or whatnot are disturbed as the door like slams open, and there's a young man who is, he's he's even sweating despite the cold. Probably, I mean, he has this mining outfit on. It, there's been an accident in the mines. Well, it's actually been there's been an avalanche, and I think they're trapped in a.
Oh snap!
It's Kenkurd's in there. He's he was finishing up his shift before coming back here before the baby, and I wanted to tell you there's already some people there trying to help, but and he just sort of like leans against the he leans against the door.
What can we do?
He kind of like wobbles in now that, the cold air has been biting his lungs, and he just sort of like wobbles in and sits down on the floor in the middle of everyone. And at this point, everyone's, Celine, though, you're still upstairs. Everyone down below. I know that many of you here for the child to be born, but it's
Get it out, man.
it's Kencord. He's and at that, by the way, Jade, Giraffe, what was the name? Kencord? Oh, he's one of my grandchildren. Oh, the poor lad.
Well, soldier, it seems our paths are to separate now. Apparently, the next of your generation may need. Yes, we'll do it. That's what he would have done. That's why we're going. We'll go because it's already happened. Yes. And then look at that one. She projects a mental image of Celine. You can imagine, this isn't quite how Celine actually looks with the way Jade perceives her, so feel free to imagine the guy's little grin with tentacles and all this kind of stuff, because, it's quite clear that Celine is something horrible to behold, mistress of death and all. But as she ends up looking at Celine, she ends up there wondering, and then starts to move. Well, I would hate to end up leaving the family high and dry at this point, or buried in freezing, if that's the case. So perhaps we can be of assistance. Don't know what we can do until we get there, unless we have, but we will.
How far away?
It's it's all right. It's several miles down the quarry road. It's not hard to miss. The road's been kept clear ever since these snows. I don't even know where they came from. Since the snows started falling.
Horses we could borrow to get there faster?
Yeah, I can I can take you. I was here to collect as many of you as possible in order to go and try and help. It's just more than he that's trapped in there. We need everyone possible.
Okay, I'll go up and go find Celine.
Hopefully the baby will keep. I don't know, maybe Celine will know how much longer until the baby's born, and if we have time to go and make it back in time, or if the baby's coming out nicely, because sometimes they just come right out. It's like they put some butter and whoop, there comes the baby. But other times it's hard.
Just
So depending on which one it is, then we'll know if Celine is needed more here or there, because if there's an avalanche, there's people who are going to be hurt there too. So we just have to do it all. We have to put her in the right place.
all right, so the miner who came in, he served some hot tea. He drinks it. He's racked with coughs. Yeah, buttered babies, DJ Delta. Yes. Smooth as a baby's butter. Jade with with a sudden movement and like this old man strength, as you're saying what you're saying to him, he grabs onto your arm. He's not crushing you. He's not trying to hurt you, but he's definitely trying to make a point. And his eyes grow wide, even though they're just as overcast as the sky above you right now. Jade, you mean well. You must be careful. Avalanches, let alone the mines, the caves, are nothing an amateur should be in. Things change and change quickly. You need gear. There are poisons and gases and even sometimes creatures in those mines. It's not something that an inexperienced person can just run in and accomplish. I don't want to lose you before you lose me, Jade. If you're going to do this, you must be prepared. You must be cautious. You can't just run in. I know it's my grandchild in there, but I don't want to lose more of you. And he lets you go.
Soldier. Oh, old soldier, old soldier. Yes, yes. I understand your concern, great as it may be. And we will not be unprepared. Your warning did not fall upon deaf ears, my friend. She stops herself at the use of the word. My dearest compatriot, I will allow time to do so, but we will make haste. We must make haste. She looks to Celine, and Celine, you can hear Jade's voice, very similar. You get this impression, the requirement remedies, poisons, gases, something akin to that, maybe something in the mind, along with something inside. Darkness with teeth and eyes, lurking somewhere in the depths of the mind.
Well, I mean, Mordecai's come up to find me, but I haven't come back out. I haven't come back downstairs just yet.
I'm sorry, sorry, I'm trying to keep everything in mind.
That's alright.
Yeah, but Mordecai would be in, right?
I went upstairs to go find her.
Yeah. Yeah, Mordecai was the one who went upstairs.
Jade, everyone's leaving you.
Nobody should be
leaving Jade.
I mean, Bright is around, right? I don't think you went upstairs, did you?
No, I didn't go upstairs. I stayed downstairs because I was talking
no,
to
Brad is around.
the guy.
Yeah, okay. Well, then Jade will definitely express this image to Bright, but on an out-of-character level, I'd be hugging you so tight right now, Fluffy. Oh, thank you, I'm not leaving me.
Yay, nuzzles. Okay, so what image am I seeing?
You're getting the impression something about remedies, poison cures, something about gas in the enclosed spaces, and a vision of in the mines or some generic mines, something in the dark with teeth and glowing eyes, hundreds of them perhaps. Just
That's so many eyes. That lives in the dark needs so many eyes. Okay, so hopefully Mordecai and Celine will come downstairs soon.
You know what? Conveniently, they do, and with at least the four of you together, I'm getting up to a break point here, so we can take a 10-minute break for using the restroom, getting snacks or whatever. You all are going to be able to make your plan. As if anything else, you're going to need to wait on this miner who ran in and told you that he'll take you. He'll guide you up the quarry road to the area in particular that was afflicted by this avalanche, possibly causing some other disturbances inside the mine itself. So let's take 10. I have 1:11 a.m. my time, so I guess we'll come back at like 1:21 or thereabouts. Why don't we
Yeah.
take 10 minutes and then we'll come back and get things going.
Sure,
All right.
that works.
All right, 10-minute break. Let's get her done.
Alrighty.